Good morning, YouTube. My name's Marisa. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. And so, y'all, the Lord is so good. And I just want to tell you a couple little things this morning because, I feel so much better this morning. I haven't felt good in the past couple of days, but I woke up this morning and I felt really good. And thank you for your prayers. And, so if you've been following along on this journey, I'm just going to pick up, on this journey. If not, you'll just have to go back and watch older videos. I was thinking about the story of when, Jesus had been crucified and all the disciples went back to fishing and they were fishing and Jesus was on the shore cooking fish and, they didn't catch anything. And he said, cast your net on the other side, And Peter was just like, yeah, we've been fishing all night. We haven't caught anything. And they're already in a state of despair and, discouragement and debilitating, thoughts of nothing that we had planned on worked out, total, utter disappointment. Right. And so they cast their nets in on the other side out of obedience, sheer obedience. It wasn't out of faith, right? It wasn't like, oh yeah, that's Jesus and I believe him. They didn't even know it was Jesus. They just did it on blind, just sheer obedience, right? Because they had nothing, they had no faith left at this point, right? And so they bring up the fish, and it was at that moment of the nets breaking that they realized that's Jesus, right? And they're so excited, and he rips off his clothes and jumps in the water and he swims to shore, and Jesus is there and in his resurrected body. And so what I'm saying is the last time I stepped out, it was sheer faith, right? It was utter, complete, total, yes, Lord, I believe every word that you say. I love you. And, my faith was it took 98 days of me walking and not finding anything before I finally caved in and was breaking. But it wasn't even my faith that was breaking. It was just my body breaking down, my mental health breaking down, my sheer exhaustion breaking down. But I never let go of that faith, right? And it wasn't until the day 98 or the night before the open door where I was on my hands and knees crying out to the Lord. And I was even saying, Lord, I love you and I believe you, but I'm done. I was just completely at the end of myself, right? And so this time when he says, do it again, there's nothing in me that has that kind of faith anymore. It's broken. It has been broken. A whole year of discouragement and disappointment has set in to my soul. And so this time when I step out, none of it is by faith of, yes, Lord, I believe every word you say. This time it's utter obedience. Utter obedience. Okay, I'll do what you say, but my faith is gone, right? And I hate to say that because I one of my life dreams is just to be known by my great faith, right? But that great faith takes a great testing. And so I wish I could say, no, I'm full of faith right now. We're walking by faith. I do say that with my lips and a lot of it is just to encourage my soul, but in my soul, it's broken. And I have to be real with that, and because, that's just part of it, right? I feel like there's apostles that were on the boat and they're just okay, we'll do it because you say to do it, but we don't believe you, and just total obedience at this point, not even faith, right? So whatever happens from this point, believe me when I say it wasn't my faith that made it happen. It was just it was God's will to make it happen because, but here's the thing. And this is what I was, thinking about last night. The Lord was just helping me to understand this was, if I don't try this again, if I don't step out again, if I don't do it again, like he said, my faith will remain broken. My faith will always be broken, and I will never see the fulfillment of the things that God did say, that he did promise me, that I did, believe him for. And so I will stay in that place of despair and discouragement and hopelessness and just utter disappointment. And I will just be wrecked for the rest of my life. And so I have to do this again, like for my own faith's sake, right? Does that make sense? Otherwise, I'm going to be wrecked forever. And so, but I can still promise you, knowing all this logically and mentally and even understanding it on a spiritual level doesn't make it easier for me. Does that make sense? There's still something in me that is just like, maybe it's weariness, maybe it's pure exhaustion of years and years and years and years of having just so much belief just to see it crash. And that takes a heavy toll on your spirit. It is not a, I wish it was just like an easy battle or something that like I could even see the light at the end of the tunnel. But, like, I think this year I've reached that point of like, I don't know if I see the light at the end of the tunnel anymore. And so I had to reset my faith in Christ alone, right? All other ground is sinking sand, because as long as I just believe him for just what he did for me on the cross and just who he is as with our relationship, I can never be disappointed by that, right? And so in that, so it's a conundrum, right? Because I've never in my life felt more confident in him. But as far as Marisa is concerned, and anything about Marisa, whether it's my faith or, the gift, definitely not my anointing or my, none of that. I have no confidence in that. But definitely, like, I've always, like, maybe I prided myself in my great faith, but I have no pride in my great faith right now because I know how small it is, right? Like, I am face to face with that tiny mustard seed right now, where like, I feel like it used to be a bush and I have hacked that thing back in reverse to a seed. I don't know. It's just, I'm trying to explain where I am, but it's hard because on the one hand, I still believe Jesus wholeheartedly, and I feel closer to him, and I probably trust him more than I ever have in my entire life. But on the other hand, I don't have that same faith to have any more expectations. I don't. And so it's a conundrum. Like, I've never been in this place before, and I don't even know how to word it properly because I might not even be explaining it well. But to the best of my ability, I'm trying to show you, where I'm at. So in that place of just, it feels like total vulnerability because I literally have to wake up every morning and say, Lord, I have to be honest with you. I don't trust you right now. I mean, I do trust you right now, but I don't have any faith left. And so, I don't have enough faith to believe right now, and I need you to help my unbelief. So like, I have to wake up and be honest with him every morning of like, my faith is so weak right now, Lord. I trust you, but my faith is weak. And sorry, I totally said that backwards, but, and then every day, he like overwhelmingly shows me that he's with me, right? Like, overwhelmingly shows me I'm with you. I've got you. Everything's okay. And so like, what I'm saying is it's like he's babying me because I'm like such a baby right now. And so it's so beautiful. Like the other day, I'll tell you one thing he did for me, like a couple weeks ago when I was waiting on my phone. And so I had to get the phone sent to my mom's address because that's the address on my license, right? That's the address that goes with my credit card. So they wouldn't send it directly to me because I was not at that address. So she had to mail it to me and I had to wait in Hickory for it. And so I was just broke the day it came, but I had been waiting like 3 or 4 days, maybe longer, for it to get there. Sorry, I got hiccups. So by the time it came, I didn't have any money that day, which, you know, like people send me money and gifts and stuff. But I never know when it's going to come usually. But on that particular day, I knew that I would have money the next day to get the phone. Right. And so it's always a surprise to me when like things land in my bank account or my Cash App or whatever, because I'm like, oh, wow, look, a blessing. Like, I just never know, you know? So, but that particular day, I knew that I would have a little bit of money the next day. And so I saw that the phone had been delivered, right, on the tracking, and they charge like $5 to hold your package for you. And I was like, I don't even have the $5 to go in there and get my phone, but I needed a phone, and my other phone was like completely broken down at that point. And so I'm out of town, stranded with no phone. And so the Lord, like the only way it would work is if it was plugged in, and as soon as you unplugged it, it would just die. So I couldn't do anything apart from having my phone plugged in. And at that time I didn't have the electrical system, right? And even so, even if I just stepped away from my car, it was going to die. So I was like, I really need this phone today, you know? And I was waiting on emails. I was waiting on all kinds of stuff. And anyway, so I was next door to the UPS store at another spot. I was at Planet Fitness, and it was across the street from the UPS store. And so I heard the Lord say, just go in and ask if, you know, I heard him say, I know you don't have the money. Just go in there and ask if there's any way they can, that you can send them the money tomorrow. And so I did. I was like, oh, maybe they'll just be kind. Maybe God's going to work it out. And I'm just going to go in there and ask nicely, and they'll be like, sure, just send us call us and pay us tomorrow. And cause it's $5, right? It's not a big deal. And so I did. I thought for sure, cause the way God said it to me, I thought for sure that they would just, you know, be like, don't worry about it. Here, take your phone, you know, whatever, or something like that. Right. So I went in, and I had already spoken to the manager a couple of days before to get the address and to tell her, like, to make sure it was okay to get a package sent there and get the address for the store. So when I came back in, she was busy with another customer across the room. And so I talked to the other girl at the counter, and I said, you know, she's like, it's $5, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, I know it's $5. I'm out of town. I'm in limbo. Is there any way I'll have some money tomorrow? Is there any way I can call you and pay you over the phone and just get my phone today, because I'm stranded without a phone? And, the lady who I had originally talked to was across the room, right? Like, she was all the way across the room, and it was a busy store. Like, there was a lot of people in there that morning. And she stops what she's doing, and she turns, and it was like she could hear our conversation from across the room, and she screams out across the room, I told you it was a charge. Like, so hateful. It was unbelievably hateful. I had no idea that it was so embarrassing. And I just stood there, and I was like, okay, it's not a big deal. I'll come back tomorrow. And as I like turn, to leave, you know, this old man saw the whole thing, and he walks over and he hands me $20, and he's like, get your phone and go eat some lunch and God bless you, you know? And he looked at her like he gave her a look like that was so rude, you know? And he totally defended me in that situation. And so I just paid for my package, and I went, and I had money to go sit at Starbucks and work and transfer my phone stuff over and get it all hooked up and charged up. So it was such a blessing. It was more than just getting my phone, right? It was just like following the obedience of the Lord, because I was literally just going to wait till the next day. And he said, no, go in there and ask. And so, but even when he said, go in there and ask, I thought in my mind, they would just let me have my package. And that's how he was going to work it out. But he had another way, because in his way, I got lunch and enough to sit at Starbucks and, you know, swap my phone over and everything. And so he not only did he pay for my phone, but he also gave me an extra blessing in that obedience, right? And so like things like this happen to me daily. And like just this morning, I woke up and yesterday was the first cold day. And then today I had to go wash my hair because I usually wash it once a week, but my hair is down past my butt now. So, it's really, it takes all day to dry. It takes all day to dry. It probably won't be dry until tomorrow. And I have to blow dry it like 10 times before it's dry. So now that it's cold, I'm like dreading washing my hair. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to freeze to death. And so so I go in and I'm having a good morning. Everything's fine. Everything is perfectly fine. And I go in, wash my hair, do the thing, braid my hair, it takes like it's a whole process. And so I was like, I'm not going to be able to wash my hair all winter, but might wash it every 2 weeks. But anyway, so I go in, do my hair care stuff. And this morning it was freezing. And I was just like, I had been worried about shoes and all that stuff. And the other day, the Lord told me, I know what you have need of before you do, and everything will work out perfectly. Don't worry about it. And cause I'm like, I have a small jacket, but I don't have a Pennsylvania jacket. And you know what I mean? Like, so I had to Google what long johns were. Like I don't even know how to buy long john. What are the proper long johns? What are the proper undergarments? I might freeze to death. So I'm panicking in my mind, right? The colder it gets. And so I'm trying to like figure out I'm from the South. We don't have today feels like a winter's day back home, and it's not even winter yet. So that's what I'm saying. I have all these unknowns, the fear of the unknowns, going through my mind. And I just keep flashing back to sleeping under bridges in California and freezing my butt off there because the nights in California are freezing. And so I guess I'm just super anxious about, the unknown future. You know what I mean? And I don't know why, because every time I have a need, God just instantly takes care of it. So this morning I'm coming out from the gym. I have my sandals on because, I had to shower and stuff. And so, when I come out and I realize my feet are frozen right now, and I was like, Lord, I really need a pair of shoes today. And I just sat down in my car. And as soon as I did, my phone beeps, and it was somebody blessed me with enough money to go not only get groceries and gas, but also, a pair of my first winter boots. So I got some waterproof boots for winter, and they're fuzzy in the inside, and oh my gosh, such a blessing, right? And so that's what I'm saying. Every single time I have this almost anxiety rising up in me about something, the Lord instantly takes care of it. He's on top of it. Because, and I feel maybe it's because my faith is so weak right now, and he just keeps showing me over and over and over and over again, it's okay. I'm with you. I've got you. Everything's okay. Just do it out of obedience. If you can only do it out of obedience, just do it out of obedience, And so like I said, last time he was building, I had so much faith, but my trust level wasn't that great. Now it's my trust level is great, but my faith feels really weak. But the crazy part is faith is trust. And so I'm trying to figure out what is happening here. What is going on, it's just I think he's just getting me past the past traumas. And so it's not even that I doubt. I'm just so scared of what happened last time. It was a little bit of PTSD or something Lord, I can't do that again. I can't do that again. I don't have that in me again, And he's just basically you can do this. Just do one thing at a time, right? One step at a time. And so yeah, I just want to be real about what's kind of going through my mind of my stresses or my battles, my spiritual battles that I'm walking through, because they're very unknown to me. Even though every time something comes up, he constantly shows me, I've got it. Everything's under control. I'm with you. I'm for you. I got it. I got it. And I'm just like, okay, Lord, okay. Like but at the same time, and I say that like I'm worried, like I'm stressing, but at the same time, I'm not stressing at all. It's the weirdest thing I've ever gone through in my life, because on the one hand, I totally, without a shadow of a doubt, trust him. But I think he's just got to get me past this like little hurdle of those past traumas that are coming to haunt me. And so all I can do in this moment is just say yes out of obedience. No other reason. Not because I'm like, yes, Lord, like I believe you and all these amazing things are going to happen if I just trust you. None of that. I don't have that in me right now. And I'm just being real. I'm just like, you said, go north, we're going north. We might freeze to death, but I trust you. Like, please don't freeze me. like that's pretty much how this is happening, And so, I wish I was a powerhouse full of faith right now, but honestly, I'm a little bit, traumatized. So, but we're getting past that. We are getting past that. Like it has gotten better. It's just like, man, I can't tell you like what it wasn't even just the 3 months of walking. It was the disappointment of all the things that followed too. And, and then this whole past year of like losing Peppa officially, and just, there were some other things that I haven't talked about on this channel that happened. And it's just, a lot of those things were just setting in on me, and hope deferred makes the heart sick, but this was beyond hope deferred to me. This was just like hope squashed, and so the Lord has just been literally nursing me back to health, and showing me in little tiny ways, I'm with you. Everything's okay. I'm not going to hurt you. I'm not going to hurt you. Everything's fine. Because, and that's the irony, is on the one hand, after all that stuff that did happen, I felt more whole and healed than I've ever felt in my life. But on the other hand, there's a whole part of me that is, terrified of saying yes again, when you've been ripped apart in every possible way. It's, you don't want to ever go through that again. It's the fear of the Lord. Like, I am afraid of what he can do to me. Like, I'm afraid of those trials that he can put us in that actually make us better people. But also, I'd never want to go through that again, And so, if I have anything more concrete in my life right now, it's the fear of the Lord, and not afraid of him. I'm just afraid. I know what he's capable of. I know that like he will put me in a fire to purify me and let me sit there until I'm purified. Like, and crank that thing up 7 times hotter. And so after you've been through a fire like that, you're like, Lord, please don't put me back in the oven. You know what I mean? Just like, it's, I don't know how to explain that. And I might be rambling at this point, but I just wanted to be more transparent about like what goes through my head. Because, we're all walking this thing out. We're all learning. Everything is a new experience. The only times we go through, and that's the other thing he was telling me, was like, the only times we go through that hamster wheel of going through the same thing over and over and over and over again is because we don't learn it. And so we can't keep growing and learning if we can't learn those basic lessons, and so even though something looks like it did before, doesn't mean it's the same thing. And that's what he's showing me. My fear is that I'm on the hamster wheel, and then he's showing me, no, this is different. This is new. This is something totally different. And it's just hard for my brain to let go of those fears, because I know how hot that fire was last time, and I don't want him to burn me again. And you know, so I just have to be transparent because, you know, that's part of this walk. This, you know, going on this journey is to share it with you. So, anyway, so I got some winter boots. I'm so happy. My feet are so warm right now. And so, yeah, today I think I'm going to go clean out my car. I did some remodel this week and like, I'm just, getting everything kind of organized really good. And then, I might leave in a couple hours and drive to another town. I kind of know where we're headed. I'm just not fully emotionally prepared to walk into that yet. And so like I said, I'm taking my sweet time because, you know, if what the Lord is showing me is correct, I personally need more time before I walk into that. And, so I am not rushing, until I know that it's like time for sure to go into that. And so anyway, but I will probably be leaving this area today, at some point today. I'm going to go clean out my car and think about it and drink some more coffee and like, that's it. But anyway, guys, thank you for following along with me and thank you for your prayers. I feel so much better today. Thank you for your encouragement. Thank you for those who have sent some blessings my way. Like, I am so grateful, you guys. If it wasn't for y'all, I would have been dead a couple weeks ago. So, and I clearly exaggerate because God always provides, right? But I am grateful for you guys and your obedience to the Lord. So, and I just pray God returns those blessings back to you like 100-fold, you know? So thank you. And it's an encouragement and especially in this time where my faith is, you know, diminished a little bit, you know, knowing that, your comments have been so encouraging and the messages I get from people and the blessings I get from people, that has just really helped me more than you know to continue to say yes and to stay in this thing because, otherwise, like, yeah, I don't know if I could. And so, yeah, so thank you to you guys and you're a big part of helping, confirm to me that the Lord is with me. And so I thank you for that. And I love you guys and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.